Well, good afternoon and welcome to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Chad Silber, Eric Chilton, and Jalen Gilkey today.
Yes, thank you for watching on air, online, Fire Stick, or Roku.
So many ways to watch us. We want to jump right into one of our top stories today. A 15-year-old accused of a shooting a fellow student will be charged as an adult with one count of murder for the fatal shooting at Mount Tabor High School.
That's right, 15-year-old Maurice Evans Jr. is accused of killing 15-year-old William Miller Jr. on September 1st at Mount Tabor. In court today, Evans' attorney, J.D. Byers, requested his client be released to supervised custody. The judge denied that request. Byers says Evans' family is very concerned about him. His mother was in tears in court today. Byers argues there's more to this case than the little information shared by investigators and school leaders. On the flip side, Forsyth County DA Jim O'Neill says more information is coming.
I certainly understand the public's interest in this case. This has gotten a lot of media attention, and people want to know and want more answers, and we hope that the appropriate time some of that information can be made public.
The suspect, Evans, will be back in court next month.
It's been a difficult week for students and staff in Winston-Salem Forsyth County schools. The district has reported 4 guns confiscated on campuses in the last month. Weapons have been found on students at Mount Tabor, Parkland, and Reynolds High Schools. The Forsyth County discovery happened yesterday when a school resource officer found a gun in a Paisley Middle School student's backpack. That tip was offered to authorities, and they confiscated the gun, and no one was injured.
Now, that Paisley student will be charged with having a weapon on campus. It's just one of the possible consequences. They'll also be suspended for a year. They'll have to learn in an alternative setting,
where they can receive more intense, smaller group support, whether that be behavioral, mental health, social emotional support that is needed. So at the end of that 365 days, should they return to a traditional campus, they are able to make better decisions.
Superintendent Tricia McManus says the district will work with assessment teams in the next week to address specific safety and resource needs for each school.
An 18-year-old Guilford County student accused of threatening multiple schools on social media is scheduled for a bond hearing tomorrow. High Point police arrested Kayshawn Williams at his home after investigating tips and information about the threat. Williams' attorney filed a motion last week to reduce his bond amount. We will bring you updates on that hearing, which is scheduled for 2 p.m.
I'm tracking a nice low number in one of our coronavirus metrics today. Check out the latest percent positive I circled. It's 7.7% at the end there. You could see it's the lowest point on this entire 7-week graph. A couple other recent days have come close. It's the lowest number we have seen since July 22nd, more than 2 months ago. We've seen several single-digit numbers lately, which is a big improvement from all of August and much of September. We're still above the state's goal of 5%, but at least we are getting closer to it. Meantime, we have seen an increase in testing for children, leading healthcare systems to open designated testing hours for children. Pfizer also recently submitted research for vaccine safety in children ages 5 to 11. A mother in Raleigh says her daughter is still dealing with symptoms 1 year later and wants parents to seriously consider getting kids vaccinated once they're approved for children.
She was a cheerleader, an all-star cheerleader, and she was always bouncing off the walls, always bouncing on the trampoline.
12-year-old Wednesday Lynch was full of life and full of potential.
She was a straight-A student.
But that all changed in September 2020 when she tested positive for COVID-19. While her mom, Alyssa, tells me she had a mild infection at first, that quickly changed.
About 103.4 fever for 3 days. We have seizures.
She also has heart and blood pressure problems now 1 year later.
She's had brain fog, confusion, memory loss, even cognitive loss with learning. She was performing at 31% and 2 grade levels behind in 6th.
There's no end in sight. Dr. John Barada is the Lynch's doctor at the UNC COVID Recovery Clinic. Wednesday is their youngest patient and one of a handful of kids under the age of 18. They have more than 500 patients in the clinic. Researchers still have no idea why some COVID survivors end up as long haulers, especially children.
We don't know what's going to happen 20 years down the road. We don't even know what's going to happen 5 years down the road.
That's why Lynch is working so hard to educate parents, trying to provide information on vaccinations and the importance in masking.
I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. I can't force anybody to do anything, but I can at least try. And if it changes one family's mind on how to protect their kids.
And to raise awareness that not only can kids get a severe case of COVID, but it can change their lives forever.
I'd like for her to be able to live a normal life.
Such an important story. Trypanophobia, the fear of needles. Did you know that the CDC estimates 25% of adults are afraid of needles? And that fear could lead up to 16% of people in the U.S. skipping out on getting vaccinated. UNC researchers are developing new technology to combat that fear and help fight the pandemic using vaccine patches. Researchers explain how they made the patch.
Our approach was to directly 3D print the microneedles and use a breakthrough in 3D printing that we pioneered when I was in Chapel Hill. We have 100 to 1,000 times more of the targeted immune cells in the dermis of our skin than we do in our muscle.
The microneedles are so small, the patch is pain-free. When applied, each person would need a smaller dose of the vaccine. Researchers hope that the patches will be on the market within 5 years and can be self-administered. The patch is currently going through animal trials.
That's interesting, and it's nice that there are other options for people. I know a lot of people are scared of needles, and no matter the size of the needle, they're scared of them.
It's true.
Absolutely.
One of my
You are?
good friends, same thing, like just almost passes out
Yeah.
when they have to get a shot or a flu shot or anything. So it's a good thing.
It's a real thing. I'm no longer afraid of needles, but when I was in preschool, I remember my mom having to hold me down and the doctor having to hold me down, and I was like screaming for dear life. So that fear, it really makes you not want to go to the doctor.
It's nice that they've also created those nasal, I don't know if it's called a nasal spray, but I know that they provide that for flu shots. In place of the flu shot, you could just get a nasal spray. So some good options.
One of my kids, it was probably 4 years old, getting a bunch of shots, and the nurse comes to him with the needle, and he goes, wait. And we said, what? And he goes, can I get the one that doesn't hurt? I'm like, sorry, there's not one of those.
It's always best when they just talk to you, and then it makes you forget about the shot.
Right, absolutely. And then maybe have like a plethora of candy around
Yes.
so you can pick
Never
something
hurts.
ahead of time. Right?
Not even as an adult. That doesn't hurt
Yeah,
either.
that's true.
Let's talk about our forecast, shall we? Looking good for a few days. In fact, our weekend is looking really nice. Now, after the weekend, we have some rain coming in possibly for next week. And it might be on more days than not for the next work week, but not this week. We're looking good as we head into the weekend. Temperatures right now, 75 degrees in Greensboro. These are good. 78 High Point, up to 79 for Lexington. Asheboro at 76. Here's a short-term forecast for you. 58 will be that low tonight, so a little bit cool. That'll be your morning temperature, of course. And then a few clouds tomorrow. 76 for the high temperature. That is very comfortable. And really, honestly, it's seasonal. It's exactly where we should be this time of the year. All clear as far as the radar is concerned here, but we zoom out to a wider shot and we see what awaits us. It may take a while for some of this moisture to get here. You look at the surface chart here, high pressure bringing down cooler air from the north for the next day or two, but as we head closer into the weekend, we'll see a little bit of a warming trend as all of this starts to lift back up into our neck of the woods. As that high shifts to the south too, remember our winds will shift along with that and we'll see more of a southerly flow, and of course that will warm us up. And here's what we see for the 7 days. 76 tomorrow, partly cloudy, sunshine for the most part. Saturday, Sunday, great temperatures there, a little above normal, 80 and 82. By Monday though, we've got a couple of systems that'll be moving by and kind of stalling out over us too, with that 40 to 50% chance of rain. That's Monday and Tuesday, highs 78 and 74, and the coolest high temperatures 72 for both days. Wednesday, Thursday, again a 50% chance of rain. Well, the countdown is on. Wicked coming to the Tanger Center in Greensboro. This happening next week. It is one of the most popular plays, really, of all time. I had the chance this morning to chat with lead actress Talia Suskauer about all things Wicked and even North Carolina.
Like a ship blown from its mooring by a wind off the sea.
It's an absolute honor to play a role that has been played by so many incredible women. Truly like a lineage of unbelievable talents that I've looked up to my entire performing life. I saw the show when I was younger, when I was a kid with my mom and my sister on Broadway. And I looked at that green girl on stage and I said, I want to do that. I absolutely want to do that. And here we are.
Tell them how I am defying gravity.
I joined the company of Wicked in 2019 and took over as Elphaba. I will say I'm afraid of heights. So probably should have taken that into consideration before, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's really the most incredible feeling, and I love to fly. And in terms of theatrical spectacle, it might be one of the most incredible spectacles that we have in modern musical theater. It's really an incredible challenge each night to step into those boots and try to take it on. When I was younger, my family would take us up to Asheville. Actually, the very first time I saw snow was in Boone. That was a very, very incredible experience for me, and I'll never forget it. So I love the state. I'm happy to be back.
Well, I'm excited already.
Yeah,
now.
me
Just
too.
hearing the
That
crowd.
voice.
Yeah, that voice is
powerful.
incredible. All right, so and I want to say this. She just graduated. She went to Penn State, and she said she graduated with a degree, a Bachelor's of Fine Arts. Went to an off-Broadway play, got that like right out of the gate, which is unheard of, right? Moves to New York. That play happened to get bumped up in a short amount of time to Broadway. So within like her first year, she was on Broadway.
Wow.
And then she said it was just did a couple of shows and then got Wicked right away. So she graduated in 2018 and she's a lead in a Broadway show.
On the fast track.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Anyway. All right, so I asked you on Facebook to tell us your favorite play of all time. We'll ask these two too and see what they say. Stephanie says Phantom of the Opera. That is my wife's favorite there. Kaja says the musical Come From Away because it's the story of how my family got stranded in Newfoundland after the American airspace was closed down following the 9/11 attacks. Interesting there. Meryl says Beetlejuice. I had forgotten that was a Broadway play. Always think about that movie. Alice said saw Wicked in New York. Very good. One of her favorites there. Beth Fisher says Our Town. I did that in high school. Catherine says Beauty and the Beast. You can't go wrong with that. And Laura said Children of Eden. I wasn't as familiar with that one, but I knew all the rest of those. All right, what are you guys?
So we told you yesterday that we have never seen a Broadway show, but if I were to pick one from a movie, I really, The Greatest Showman is one that I really enjoyed. I mean, the cast and I mean, just the what do you call it, the score?
Yeah, the music.
Yeah, it's great.
I would have to say A Raisin in the Sun. Absolutely love that play. That was actually what I used to audition for governor's school when I was in high school. So it holds a special place in my heart.
The monologue. Did you do a monologue?
I did a
from
monologue,
that?
Beneatha, the sister, when her brother stole all the money and it was supposed to help her go to med school.
So I guess it's different for me, like a musical that I've seen, like you said, in movies or that type of thing, and then what I've seen in person, because I haven't seen that many in person. But Les Mis in person was incredible. I did see that. It was 3 hours and 20 minutes long, and I didn't even notice it because it was flying along.
Wow.
But then from a movie standpoint, I like the old school classic like Music Man and Oklahoma and some of those that I've seen. So I haven't seen Greatest Showman. I really want to see it.
It is so, and I'm not a musical guy. I'm
Yeah, I
not a
didn't think you
Broadway
were.
guy,
Really?
but it was such a good movie. I've seen it multiple times, and I've listened to the music because I don't know, I'm addicted to it.
Hugh Jackman's a great actor and singer too. It's incredible.
Absolutely.
I want to see Wicked.
Yeah, I am going. I am going again. I'm going to see it 2 times in 2 weeks. We'll be right back. 100. It's like 100, I think, for some of the, it's not. But you know, our winds coming in mostly from the northeast. We've got that cooler flow to things, and it's sort of holding everything at bay right now as far as this rain goes, but it will lose that battle. Eventually that high moves away and the rain moves in, but that probably won't happen until we think the early part of next week. So our weekend is looking pretty good. You can see some of the rain out here. Let's show you the systems on top of that. And this is the cold front, the cooler air coming around that high pressure that keeps our dew points fairly low. So it's a drier feel, at least the way it will be. As that high starts to sink to the south, we'll still have that general cool flow for another day or so, but notice that it is moving to the south. So as it gets over the top of us and moves south of us, our winds will shift around that, and that will start to warm us up. And actually that happens in the next couple days. We'll see our temperatures going up a little bit each day. So today we're looking at those upper 70s for the most part, but that warmer air is starting to move in. Hey, a quick look at the tropics. We have, you see Sam right here. We'll show you the path of Victor first. This is a tropical storm. You see it way out in the Atlantic. It is forecast to stay out in the Atlantic and kind of downgrade. Sam stays as a category 4 for a while, then a 3 by Saturday, a 2 by Sunday, and it starts to weaken as it heads to the north. Again, not really affecting the East Coast at all. We'll have that forecast long-range 7-day outlook coming up in just a bit.
All right, time now to get to your 4 to 5 roundup. First up today, Kernersville man accused of taking part in the Capitol riot on January 6th has reached a plea deal. Snapchat videos show Anthony Scarica inside the Capitol building that day. He pleaded guilty to parading, demonstrating, or picketing in a Capitol building. He faces a max sentence of 6 months in jail and a $5,000 fine. In exchange, the court dropped another charge for violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. He'll be sentenced in January. Congress approved a short-term spending bill to prevent a partial government shutdown. The measure will fund federal agencies through December 3rd and includes $6 billion for Afghan refugee resettlement and $28 billion for disaster relief. The measure now goes to President Biden for his signature. Some prices are going up at the Dollar Tree. The retailer says it'll start selling products that cost more than $1 after customers said they wanted more product assortment. Over the next 3 years, the company is also adding thousands of additional Dollar Tree Plus stores, which already offer items for $1, $3, and $5. We'll be right back.
Bald Eagle, it's baby Eaglet checking in. Mike checking, Mike checking.
When facing a troubling situation, you should face it head on rather than running from it. In today's U-Day segment, Coach Lamont explains how Eagles do exactly that and how we can apply their methods to our own lives.
In life, we are guaranteed to face a storm. Storms will come and many are unavoidable, but you have a superpower within that even the storm knows it can't overcome. Take the eagle, for example. An eagle can foresee when a storm is approaching long before it breaks. Instead of hiding, the eagle flies to the highest point and waits for the winds to come. When the storm rolls in, the eagle sets its wings in place to be carried by the winds above the storm. This is the approach we must take. When the storms of life come in, use the storm against itself and show that storm who's boss. Everything in you has trained you for moments like this. You don't have to accept the outcome that a storm will bring. You can get in the face of any storm and be the storm against the storm. This is Coach Lamont reminding you to have your best U-Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
No doubt you know Nick Cannon. He's been in just about everything. Movies, TV shows, he even raps. Well, this time he's getting attention for changing the lives of 2 Triad HBCU students. WFMY News' Jalen Gilkey got reaction from one of those lucky students.
Yeah, Chad, North Carolina A&T senior Christian Cornegay has been a fan of Nick Cannon since he can remember. The actor recently promised he would pay off student loan debts for 7 students at HBCUs when they graduate. 3 of those schools are here in North Carolina. Christian is one of those students, so when Christian was presented the opportunity of a lifetime to meet one of his childhood heroes, he couldn't believe it.
Have a connection with a mentor that I never met before, and then to be able to be discovered by him is just a whole other thing. So that was a blessing to me as well. That was the biggest part of the process to me, is being able to have that connection there, to see that there's a younger generation's version of himself, or to see some of himself in me.
Christian, who goes by the stage name CDK on the mic, is an event host who's traveled across the country emceeing functions from coast to coast. That's what got him on Nick Cannon's radar, and Cannon wanted to help invest in his future.
A full ride. So everything at the graduation, all my student debts, all my student loans will be wiped away. So that's a blessing right now. So I don't even have to worry about that anymore. So that's what I was awarded. And just big shout out to Nick Cannon for all of that. And his people, just a blessing. Like every day, it doesn't even feel real. It's just like, dang, I can look back and say I had the perfect college experience.
Yes, like I said, Christian was one of 7 HBCU students who Nick chose to pay off their student debts. Winston-Salem State University's Shinradika Midcalf was also selected for this same opportunity.
What a cool honor. And what a cool, I mean, so outside of the fact that you got your college paid off, I mean, what a cool party favor to tell people. So tell me something about yourself. Well, listen to this.
I'm actually good friends with Nick Cannon.
Right,
he's my mentor. I just love seeing all these celebrities that are giving back to HBCUs and just putting them in the spotlight, because Beyonce and her foundation donated a lot of money to one of our colleges here in the Triad.
I just love the fact when they took the shot of him, the student talking there, and he had his mic flag up, you know, he's like branding himself. He's all about it.
So Christian has a couple podcasts. Like I said, he's an event host. He does a couple different shows on campus, and he also used to work for 102 Jams, the radio station. So, I mean, he's got a big brand, and he's got a big support system here in the Triad and across the country. So, hey, he's on the way. Yeah. He wants to be an entertainment journalist, and go to different events and interview rappers and different artists and all type of stuff like that. So he's well on his way.
I do like that when these big stars give money or help people at schools, they're not just doing it like a blanket, here everybody gets this amount of money. They're specifically picking people who they are inspired by, and hopefully they'll be inspiring others too.
Absolutely. I hope he keeps that connection with him.
Yeah, that would be neat. We'll be right back.
Hello. Hi, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie. They forever go together like a classic combination.
And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Eric Chilton with Lauren Coleman, Chad Silver, and Jalen Gilkey today.
Welcome to everybody, whether you're watching at home or online, Roku, Fire Stick, or online on the Facebook page. So many ways to watch us.
Absolutely. We have a lot of stories to talk about today, but the big one, the teenager accused of shooting and killing a student inside Mount Tabor High School will be tried as an adult with 1 count of murder.
15-year-old Maurice Evans Jr. is accused of killing 15-year-old William Miller Jr. on September 1st. In court, Evans' attorney J.D. Byers requested his client be released into supervised custody with his family. The judge denied the request. Byers argues there is more to this case than the little information shared by investigators and school officials. He says all of that information will come to light once Evans' case moves to Superior Court.
It's a very involved process, and it's very tedious, and both sides want to get things right, and the sooner we can move it along, the better it is for my client.
The next court date for Evans has not been scheduled yet, but will be sometime in October.
Now, Tabor is one of several school superintendent Tricia McManus identified as needing extra resources to amp up school safety. Others include Reynolds and Parkland high schools. The superintendent was at Parkland yesterday, where she says she's been several times in the past few weeks. The high school will get more counselors, a social worker, and hall monitors as part of the district's plan.
It's very important, I think, as we are implementing so many new things within our system and talking so much about culture and talking so much about academics and instruction, that to just get a pulse check on all that.
District leaders say they'll work with an assessment team to address individual school needs starting next week. An 18-year-old Guilford County student accused of threatening multiple schools on social media will be in court tomorrow. A judge scheduled a bond hearing for Kayshawn Williams. You'll remember High Point police arrested him at his home after investigating tips and information about those threats.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Alamante's Burlington School Superintendent Bruce Benson has submitted his letter of resignation to the Board of Education. Benson's letter detailed his hopes to devote more of his time with his family and his personal life. The superintendent started his position in July of 2018. Benson's contract was extended by the board back in July and is effective through June of 2025. Benson's resignation would go into effect at the end of the first year. If you need help around the house, you'll be able to add some helping hands to the family later this year. Amazon's new robot Astro rolls around the house on wheels. You can play music or videos and bring things from room to room. Astro isn't available to the public just yet, and he comes with a price tag of $100. It's opening weekend at the Carolina Classic Fair in Winston-Salem. The fair opens tomorrow and runs through Sunday. Tomorrow's tickets are on sale starting at $5. Fairgoers will need to wear a mask inside and outside of the fairgrounds. This will be the fair's first year with the name Carolina Classic. The fairgrounds open at 11. Check out who stopped for a drink last night in Queen City. Mick Jagger shared this photo on his Facebook page, him out and about at the Thirsty Beaver Saloon last night. The Rolling Stones are playing in Charlotte tonight, and it looks like the band's frontman was celebrating the show's tour early.
Hey, if you are hoping to see Coach K in action during his final season at Duke, you better get in line. Tickets to Duke's last game at Cameron Indoor are hard to get, especially since they'll be playing Carolina. Tickets are such a hot commodity, Duke set up a wait list for people who want tickets to any games this season. People on the wait list will get the chance to buy tickets when they are available. Coach K talked about the rush for tickets, saying he hosted an event where 4 tickets were auctioned off for $1 million.
$1 million? That's a lot for a game, a basketball game. I'm sorry.
I mean, you think about, so Cameron Indoor doesn't hold that many anyway. I mean, it's tough to get a ticket normally, much less this. There is no camping out for those seats, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's going to be, and of course, that's going to be like the game of the century, right? It's going to come down to the last second. There's going to be overtime. But Duke is going to win only because it's the perfect storybook for the ending of Coach K's career.
I saw your face.
Can't say anything right now.
It's impressive though that he has such a following and that this year has been hyped up so much.
I mean, every game is going to be like the championship this year for them. You know?
Big game, big season. All right, Senator Richard Burr proposed a tax bill for scholarship college athletes profiting off their name, image, and likeness. The NIL Scholarship Tax Act would require college athletes earning more than $20,000 from the NIL to include their scholarships as taxable income. Athletes are already required to pay taxes on any compensation from NIL deals. The NCAA changed its rules in July, allowing athletes to earn money for their name, image, and likeness if they appear in commercials or sign endorsement deals with private companies.
You know, the forecast, we're seeing some slight changes going on here over the next couple of days. In fact, we're watching these temperatures going from the 70s. We'll go back to the low 80s for your weekend, and then things start to relax a little bit and we'll calm down as far as temps go. Now, rain chances coming back next week and kind of hovering with us almost every day during the work week. Get to that in a minute. 75 in the Triad, 80 in Charlotte, 79 in Raleigh, Fayetteville at 81. We've got Wilmington with 79 degrees and Myrtle Beach at 81 as well. Boone, by the way, 77 degrees right now. Let me step out of the way. Look at Knoxville at 84. Clear over the area for now, but if we go out to a wider shot, you'll see some rains trying to get here. You can't really get too much closer because we have that big ridge of high pressure there. That keeps us cool in the short term, but as that moves to the south and it kind of opens the door, it'll move away and allow some of that warmer air to push in. That's when we see those temperatures going to the low 80s for your weekend. Now next week, we'll cool it right back down with rain chances moving back in. Quick look at the tropics here. We've got Victor out in the middle of nowhere, and Sam really isn't going to affect anybody either. This one, a tropical storm. Victor, you can see it stays in the middle Atlantic. Same situation with Sam, although that is a major storm, category 4, as we head into Friday, dropping down to a 3 Saturday and a 2 by Sunday. Here's your 7-day forecast. Pleasant weekend, sunshine, low 80s. That's nice. Then the rain comes in, a 40 to 50% chance every day, Monday through Thursday. 78 Monday, we go to 74 Tuesday, and 72 for Wednesday and Thursday.
How do you bank? Is it in person or at a location, or is it maybe online? The bank, doesn't even actually have to exist in a building. I have a brick and mortar bank, but I rarely go to the brick and mortar bank. I mostly do my banking online. I want to know, 4 to 5 friends, how do you bank? So how do you bank?
So I basically just do it online. I have the app and I don't actually go into the bank.
But you could.
I could if I wanted to.
Okay, Jalen?
So I have 2 bank accounts. One is there's not a physical bank in the state of North Carolina.
Okay.
So I use that one just online, and then there's another that I can go into if I need to.
All right, and so Lauren?
There is a physical bank I can go to, but I do everything online. I got the app on my phone, check it daily.
Okay, now Chilton, you make me laugh because you even use a check register. So what do you do?
He does. I have to balance to the penny. I'm like obsessed with it. Yeah, so I do have a brick and mortar, but I, like you, Tanya, I probably go in there once every 4 or 5 years.
Right, because I even take a picture of my checks and whatever else. Okay, so I have friends who have never stepped into their bank because their bank does not have a branch. Does that seem weird to you to not have like a physical place that you could go to?
That's strange. When I first moved to North Carolina, I did not have a bank here, and I didn't have a bank for probably 3 years. So I didn't even have a place where I could go into. But then after I started, digging down those roots into the ground, I said I might as well get a bank here.
Okay, but it worked for you, all of it being online and not having to go to a branch anywhere. Okay, because I think that's a little weird, but I know lots of people who have one of those kinds of banks. And the upside to the online banking services are these things right here. 0 fees, early pay options, higher interest rates on checking and savings accounts. They can offer that because they have less overhead, right? No buildings, not as many workers, which is the downside.
If you need help, reaching an actual human at the company to help you may not be easy. Try to find the company's main number online and ask to speak to the office of the CEO. Explain your situation clearly, and remember to be nice, no matter how frustrated or angry you might get.
Be nice.
There you go.
Okay, and if that doesn't work, the trick that we've all used is social media. Am I right?
Absolutely.
Okay, have you complained online before when something has happened?
I have complained online before. You just send out a tweet and they'll DM you and they try to help you out.
Okay, anybody else?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
I have not done that. No,
You have not done that, Chilton.
So check this out. It really helps once you get verified and once you get the little check mark and you get on Twitter and you start adding people. Everybody's resource team reaches out to you. It's like, how can we fix this?
Okay, Jalen. All right, so you need to be direct but nice on social media. Here's a good rule of thumb. They say do a direct message first, give them a chance to fix it. And if they don't, then do a public social media post like Jalen said. But being nice is key. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It gets you real far in life.
I have the goal of being nice, but usually if I'm in in a situation where I'm reaching out to them on social media, I have had it and I'm at my wit's end.
Very true.
Same.
And maybe I just need to start calling someone to read them the tweet before I tweet it.
Right, but I've never heard you or seen you use any kind of like word that you shouldn't use, or you've never called somebody a name.
True, that's
You've
true.
never said
until he
these
hangs
clowns
up.
or
Yeah.
these
Like public
bozos
shaming.
that are here,
That's
right?
because I've got my bosses in my head saying, why are you using your work social media accounts for this?
For personal things.
Yes.
I think you should just be direct.
Okay.
Just be direct.
All right, be direct. All right. Concern report also says if you feel you've gotten bad service, to make sure you report it to the Better Business Bureau. That's one of the easiest ways to get stuff done. We'll be right back. Be nice.
There you go. Be nice.
Fixing issues in our cities. That's exactly what the Ideas City Winston-Salem program was all about. And now it's time to celebrate that work and implement some of these plans. I spoke with Donovan Livingston. He's an assistant dean for collaborations at Wake Forest University to get the scoop. So Donovan, thanks for being with us today. Hey, explain this whole concept to us because a lot of people aren't familiar with this.
Yeah, so Idea City Winston-Salem was born of a partnership between Wake Forest University, the new museum in New York City, and the city of Winston-Salem. Really, we want to highlight the creative entrepreneurial talent that exists right here in the City of Arts and Innovation. So we're calling all creatives, all folks who are interested in the intersection of art, design, culture, and technology to really think critically about how we can move the city forward together.
So in looking at this, what do you think are some of the aspects you're going to focus on? Like, give me some specifics.
So at the festival, festival, there will be what's called a marketplace of ideas. Essentially, it'll feature close to 24 creative entrepreneurial groups and organizations, companies right here in the city, doing demos, highlighting their work, how their work sort of solves social goods, social need in the city. There'll also be live local music from artists from across the region, as well as panel discussions that focus specifically on how arts move a city in a positive direction.
And am I correct when I was reading some of this? Is there something this week that people can't? Is it a virtual thing or is it in person?
We're in person, Eric. We're going to be live in person, Bailey Park, starting at 11 a.m., rocking all the way through the evening to 9 p.m. So 11 to 9, Saturday, October 2nd, we'll be in Bailey Park. The marketplace will be up. There will be live music kicking off around 3 and panel discussions taking place throughout the day.
I mean, and I would think that every city that follows those first groups, they just pull more and more from these experiences, you know?
Indeed. And so we're excited to capitalize on the entrepreneurial and creative energy that makes Winston-Salem what it is. And I think there's something special here. And Idea City Winston-Salem, the festival, is a chance for us to celebrate that together.
So this is good on a lot of fronts. Obviously, you're working to solve issues within the city and keep things fresh. But they have mayors and people that participate in city municipalities all over the country that kind of go in virtually on this and try to help out one particular city. But they do this in a lot of different locations. This thing going on Saturday is more of a celebration of that whole year because now it's over. They had teams developing ideas for solutions for all of this, and then now anybody can come and just kind of get a piece of what this is all about and experience it.
So this is for business owners and they're coming together to collaborate new ideas?
It's really for us, the public, to go to see what they did.
Okay.
Is kind of what Saturday is all about. So you go there, live music, food, they've got everything, but they also have panel discussions with, and some of them are virtual and some in person, where you can talk to the powers that be in other places and what they said about Winston-Salem and how they want to fix things.
I'm always so impressed with all the different ways that people, entrepreneurs and just people with very intelligent brains are able to come up with so many cool, unique things.
And you know, the City of Arts and Innovation, that's Winston-Salem, and this really shows how they live that brand.
Very cool.
Well, here's a brand that I know that you all can relate to. It'll have you checking your sweater for Mom's Spaghetti. Rap star Eminem debuted his restaurant in Detroit yesterday called Mom's Spaghetti. The menu features, you guessed it, Mom's Spaghetti or a sketty sandwich. Ooh. Customers were so excited to give the restaurant a try. Just check out the line in just a minute of all the people who were lined up. It stretched for blocks. Imagine their excitement when Eminem actually showed up to the restaurant and started handing out orders at the drive-through window. Okay,
That's
so
neat.
if you are not familiar with this song, if anybody would like to rap it, they're more than free to. But anyway, in his popular song, Lose Yourself, the opening lines say, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his sweater already, Mom's Spaghetti.
Good job.
Nice.
That was good.
This is my first time in probably 20 years doing that. But that's a cool idea, and of course he had to be there for it.
For him to be at the window, that's pretty cool.
That's worth waiting for
Yes,
sure.
it is.
I want to try this sketty sandwich. I've never had one before. Have you?
No, whenever he said that, Lauren and I both went,
Yeah.
could hear us over to the side. Yeah, I think that sounds good. I hope it's in like a pita bread. You know, you can't do regular bread. That sounds
Or like a sub sandwich or something like that.
Bread, that might
Oh,
work.
kind of like the meatball sub.
Meatball sub
from-
with like
that was
spaghetti in it.
Okay.
That sounds delicious.
Now I gotta look it up.
Here's a question. Do you prefer spaghetti or lasagna?
Lasagna.
Yeah, I'll say lasagna.
I like lasagna.
Yeah.
I'm lasagna too. On your spaghetti, do you have meat sauce or not meat sauce?
Meat sauce.
Meat sauce. And I like meatballs too. All
Same. I feel like it's not spaghetti without the meat.
Do you prefer the huge honkers of a meatball or just like little guys?
I like the little ones so I can like swirl, you know,
get
the
a
noodles
bite.
and then get a bite for each one. I don't want to have to like use a fork and a
See,
knife.
it's funny. My wife is funny about anything that's meat. If it's big, she doesn't like it. But if you chop it up, she'll eat it.
Even if it's the
hates
same
funny.
thing?
Yes, it's like this psychological thing. It's so funny. So on purpose, I would like give her a big meatball. Here you go. No.
Well, now you know our sketty specialties.
We'll be right back. I'm hungry.
Bald eagle. It's the baby eaglet checking in. Checking in. He's the bald eagle. They Googled what is a baby eagle called? Eaglet.
The Triad is known for many things: the ACC, Attorneytown, Lexington Barbecue, and the North Carolina Zoo. But did you know this weekend the Triad is home to the World Soft Golf Championship? WFY News 2's Tracy McCain explains what it is and why it may be your sport.
It's full swing like golf, and you use the same fundamental skills as conventional golf. It's just on a larger scale and more user-friendly.
Very different from conventional golf. Soft golf is for everyone at every level. It's an easier game with larger equipment.
The balls are foam. They're 4.5-inch foam balls. They're very colorful. So it makes it fun to hit them and you can't lose them.
In soft golf, you can play day or night.
The balls, the clubs, the scorecard stands, the flags, and the holes all light up and glow in the dark, and the grounds stay dark.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So how do people get involved with this tournament, and can like a first time player play in it?
The tournament is the World Soft Golf Championship. It's a fun tournament. It's a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon. And currently the only soft golf course is located at Tanglewood Park in Clemens.
He's the only one?
Yes.
Like in the nation or in the state?
Yeah, in the nation. It is the only one. So, this game is unique to the Triad area.
If you're looking for something new and unique, this is your game.
Wow, just when you think you knew all about all of the sports that are out there.
Have never heard of this before.
I love the idea of playing in the dark with the glow in the dark stuff. That would be fun.
I wonder if this will help my golf score. I don't know.
I would bet that if they're like foam or whatever, Jalen, they probably float. So if you're in the water, you're probably still in good shape.
I don't find myself in the water much, but I do find myself in the sand.
That's worse.
I've always thought that it would be neat to do like a to make like a cornhole set that is lit up or like glow in the dark, so you can play at night, because that's always the hassle. It's like it gets dark, so you have to stop playing. But if the bags glowed in the dark and the boards glowed in the dark,
it just makes it more fun, because who doesn't like
Absolutely.
glow in the dark stuff?
Right. And then you've got lightning bugs everywhere.
Oh, this
a
is like
magical
a mystical
Instagram
world.
moment.
It's great. I've played Tanglewood Golf Course a couple times. I've never even seen this, so I got to check that out.
Let's go, Jalen. We're
Give it a shot.
All right, Lauren, I see you.
Yep. Practicing my moves.
We'll be right back.
Because sometimes he doesn't have one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry.
Early for what? October.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello. 1, 2.
Hi there, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island.
Hey, ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together.
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did I lower this enough?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Yeah, that's true as well.
Hey there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy last day of September.
It's time for my 2 cents. A couple weekends ago, I was waiting in the drive-thru line of one of my favorite North Carolina chains, Biscuitville. The line was so long it started bleeding into the street. It felt like forever. But when I finally got to the register to pay for my order, I was caught by surprise. The cashier told me that the order was taken care of by the car in front of me. This small act of kindness had me smiling ear to ear. And I asked her how long this kind exchange between cars had been going, and she told me I was the 5th customer to have their meal covered by another driver. And I said, well, let's keep that same energy. And I proceeded to pay for the folks that were next in line. I could see their smile and shock when they pulled up. Though I didn't know the driver behind me, it felt good to know I was able to gift them with a happy surprise. Hopefully, they kept the trend going. But this made me realize how a simple gesture can really brighten up someone's day. A small act of kindness doesn't have to be financial. Holding the door open for a shopper who's carrying lots of bags, or simply saying hello to a stranger can really go a long way. You never know what someone else is going through, especially during these uncertain times. It's important that we continue to pay it forward and spread generosity and love. Your simple act of kindness may just be what someone needs to get through the day. That's my 2 cents. That's your 4 to 5. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts now.
A 15-year-old will be charged as